Alright, here is a pole position update. It just died on me. I went to go turn it on and all I got were marquee lights and coin door lights. The monitor was on, but I had to take that power brick out the bottom. Turns out one of the fuses went. So let's go take a look and see which fuse it was that popped on this pole position. So here is the, I guess the power brick, or I'm not sure what you call it, the isolation transformer, and the fuse bank for Atari's pole position. And as we take a look here, this was the fuse that popped, and it is fuse 3, the 20 amp 32 volt slow blow. I guess this was a modification that was, I think, Atari approved, done by operators back in the day, and it was here, but I'm not sure why they did that, but they did that. Anyway, as I look at this, I mean, if you can see this, this is pretty toasty. It is just in rough shape. It's all burnt up, and that edge is looking pretty bad too. I mean, these other ones don't look as bad. I guess it's just that line. So it's this orange wire here, and I've had it pop before. Last time it popped, I looked underneath and there was a wire that was completely toasted up and corroded and all that stuff. So I'll go ahead and I'll flip it over and I'll show you where it was. But if we follow this back, this is the pale orange lead. So it's this one here, and it comes in to here. And I can't quite see, what tap it's on in there. But alright, let's flip it over and take a look to see what's going on and where it goes. Okay, here is the power supply for pole position. Just a quick list at what we're looking at here. We've got the isolation transformer here, our filter cap over here. This is our line filter, and our bridge rectifier is right here. This is a fuse that was put in by somebody else. It goes to the line for the fan that cools the pole position PCB, and it does run off of AC. But in a way, what the problem I think is down here with this bridge rectifier. I've already replaced one line previously when the fuse popped, and this line was visibly burnt up. As I look at these other lines here, this is the line that goes to that fuse that popped, and as I look at this is, dark on the end, and that stuff just fell off. It's all corroded. So I think that's actually part of our problem. I'm going to take a look at some of these other connectors too, since they're all burnt up, and we'll replace those, and hopefully that fixes our problem once we put a new fuse in. So I'll put a quick connect on this one over here, clean these up, and we should be good to go. I guess this is just a kind of a high humidity area, and these wires are probably about 35 years old or so now, so hopefully that fixes our problem. Alright, so I've done a bunch of the wires. I've done the one that goes over to the cap. I've also put a new connector on this orange one that's connected to the isolation transformer, and I've got one left to do. I just wanted to show you this. I actually just tried to cut the connector off. I went to cut it, and the piece of plastic actually, or the insulation around this wire, flew off, and you can kind of see all the corrosion in this wire. I mean, this is disgusting. Look at this. No wonder the fuse popped. I mean, this thing's barely holding on. So, and I mean, it's the same way at the fuse block end too. So, it's really no wonder. It's gross. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this off. We'll pull this wire out and reconnect it to where it needs to go. And I think we should be good to go, provided the bridge rectifier didn't die in the process. So here's that fuse block that had the fuse pop on it. So I ran the new wire on the left side, And what I did is I also cut the wire on the other side, and I just stripped it back. I didn't feel like replacing that wire because it goes straight into the isolation terminal, and that's probably a skill set beyond me. But anyway, I'll put this through here, that wire through, and I'll solder it in place, and I've kind of cleaned that up a little bit. Really, I should have replaced the fuse block, but I think it'll be just fine. But anyway, we'll go from there, and when down the road, if it happens again, I'll replace this fuse block, and I gotta research why this fuse block was done instead of using the one down here in its place. And this one actually doesn't look like it's in bad shape. So there must have been a reason for doing that on these pole position machines. But anyway, we'll go from there. I'll put that on, and hopefully, with no corroded wires, this thing is working pretty good. I've checked the other ones, and they're not corroded. I don't know why it was just that set. But anyway, we'll go from there and put that new wire in. So here's that fuse from the front side. That's all soldered in place, and I'll put a fuse in, and just so you guys can see, what it looks like on the other side. Here is that bridge rectifier with all new connectors on it, and the wires all cleaned up. So we've got our new wires going to the capacitor, and the new wire going to the fuse, and we put a new connector on this other one that went to the isolation transformer. So we should be good to go, hopefully, unless something else got taken out along the way, which it's possible, but we'll try it out and go from there. Alright, so I put the power supply back in and got it all hooked up, and no fuses popped yet. And what do you know? It's working. Hard to see because I'm wedged in between another game, but you can see my high score over there that I'm boasting of 61,600. So I gotta get some more practice in. I gotta try to break 62,000 on this machine. There I am up at the top, and my friend Jom, J-O-M. That may be a typo, not sure. He's got me beat by a few milliseconds on this machine, but he can beat me. Anyway, there we go. It's working. And I'll go ahead and push it back into the lineup. It's going to go back here next to Final Lap. I wisely put it in the corner so that every time I have to work on it, I have to pull it out. I got to change that. Find another place for it. Push one of the other games that doesn't go down as much over. Of course, I know if I push that one over or push any other game into that corner, it will probably go down. But anyway, there we go. Hopefully that was helpful. If you're blowing that fuse, check those lines. They may be corroded, and that will possibly solve your problem. Alright, thanks a lot. Hope this is useful.